Yes. Welcome in. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN. It's a program that is presented to you by Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. And today I've decided I am going to look into the YouTube camera, which is, of course, Jackson, presented to you by the Air Alliance team, and let I guess it apparently is all guys who are in the YouTube chat gaze into my blue eyes and picture we're together over a candlelight dinner.
I don't think I've ever had a candlelight dinner.
Oh, I bet you have. You're just downplaying it.
I don't know if I have.
In Ladue, aren't all dinners
Candlelit?
aye?
No, yeah, some of those places certainly are. I love when a restaurant's really dark. Like, the darker the restaurant, the better. I think that sets a nice ambiance.
Give me an example of a place that you've been that most of us couldn't possibly afford that is dimly lit.
Here's the darkest restaurant in possibly the continental United States. It's called,
this is going to be something in the Hamptons or Malibu.
No, it's in the 573, matter of fact. Columbia, Missouri, Murray's.
I would agree with that, actually.
Murray's.
That's a nice play.
You need like a flashlight to read the menu like you're 92 years old.
Well,
but I like that.
I think that's a nice play. That's a nice play. It's kind of obscure,
yeah.
But I bet some of our Missouri alums and Fighting Tiger fans are familiar with Murray's.
Yeah. And now the polar opposite of that would be like Steak and Shake, where you walk in and you feel like you need to put suntan lotion on. It's so bright in there. So a happy medium is okay. My father is the one who really loves a dim lit restaurant. Therefore, Murray's is his favorite place in the world.
So as you may recall, I used to tan a lot.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. I don't know why I giggled.
And I was catching, this is the late 1990s in Columbia, Missouri. And we'll get to SEC Media Days and breaking down the All-Star game momentarily. And will the Cardinals be active at the trade deadline? But this tanning bed story is too important.
Yeah.
Because it ties into Murray's.
All right. I'm excited to hear it.
So, as just the cutest little 21-year-old boy in Columbia anchoring an obviously future star.
Right.
Full head of hair. Thank you, Propecia. Shout out.
Big shout out.
I'm like, well, if I'm going to be in television, I need to be a bronze god at 5'2". Mm-hmm. And so I would go tanning in South Columbia. God, I don't remember where the place was. I can picture the place. And the girl who worked there, I kind of was picking up a vibe. I don't know if I was right or not. I don't know. Was this 98 or 99?
Let's go 98, the year I was born. So, like, off Providence here, we're talking?
I think so.
Yeah, if we're talking South Columbia.
And you can send in your tanning bed stories at 314-399-9646. After a few times, I'm like, we got to put pucks on net.
Yeah.
And I asked her out.
You shot your shot.
Well, of course she said yes.
You took it to Murray's, like
I went
a gentleman.
to Murray's.
Little jazz bar.
Now, things were going well. Mm-hmm. I go to make my move. Candidly, I was thinking heavy petting.
Right. Naturally.
However, in order to get there, we had to engage in just a kiss. Mm-hmm. Lady A, Hillary Scott.
Yep. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And I go in and she goes, I'm sorry, I really want to, but I think I have some herpes sores.
Well, it's better she said it than to find out after the fact.
Right. And for that, she is who we pay homage to here today on Balloon Party. And also Murray's.
Big shout out
to all of those of you who are heading into your tanning appointment.
Really great chicken wings at Murray's. I feel so often that people are afraid to take accountability because it's like...
You talking about the herpes sores?
Well, like sometimes people...
That was a Ron Mexico thing.
Ron Mexico.
That was Michael Vick's DBA when he was out and about.
Is that right?
Kind of like, what was Lane Kiffin's? Joey Freshwater, I think.
Derek Jeter used to use Johnny Chase. Drama. Yeah. What I'll say is so often people don't want to take accountability. They feel like it's an admission of guilt of some sort. But that's not the case. Sometimes it's really refreshing to hear someone say, you know what, and not be called out.
You know what? I have herpes.
But own up to it and say, you know what, I'm going to be transparent with you. I have a slight case of some cold sores. Pretty confident it's a herpes situation. It's more common than you'd think, certainly on the mouth side. But, I understand if you don't want to. And you know what? Respect the accountability.
Now, you respect that, and I understand that. And I'm going to break down the Freddie Freeman, Josh Naylor exchange in a moment. But What if, and I know that this will strike you as unfathomable, and our 98% female audience will find this to be just straight fiction. But let me play this out, just for the sake of playing it out.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's say she was so appalled by me and our time together that the only way to get a 5-star lock that I would never ask her again, much less make out with her, is to say, hey, bro, I'm enjoying some herpes sores right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
that's the thing. You think of what could be, and I think of what can't be. And life's a lot more fun to go through the way you think, but you also reside with your head firmly up your ass.
Was there a visible cold sore on her person?
Yeah, but that could have been the makeup artist.
Understood. I didn't really think of it from that angle, but I respect where you're coming from.
Right.
But if she said yes to the date and you say it went well, But
I think I wore my lifts in the tanning bed.
Oh, and so you showed up flat-footed when you got the picture of you in pumps. I can understand. Yeah. Okay. So you're now shorter, but you're also tanner.
That's exactly right.
But it's dark as hell in there, so it's unlikely she's going to see
At
you.
Murray's.
Right. Huh. Yeah, I guess I didn't look at it from that angle. Yeah, you might have been bait and swede.
See what I'm talking about?
But either way.
So now you're not necessarily saluting her.
Well, I'm going to be glass half full guy and say she was telling the truth.
All right. Well, her tactic worked.
Okay. All right.
I didn't follow up.
Well, if you did, that would be, if someone told you that.
And I'm sure she's listening right now.
Yeah. Tip of the cap to you.
Right.
I hope you found love.
Amen.
Yeah, it's tough though. Yeah. But cold sores are herpes, Like a cold sore, like people hear the word herpes, they're like, ugh. But if it's on the mouth, it's really common, like way more common than you think. When it starts to get on the, I'll be honest, genitals.
Oh, wow. How am I going to explain that to my kids?
That's when it becomes.
My 2 sons love this show.
They really like Wide Birth Wednesdays.
They love Wide Birth Wednesdays. What does a Wide Birth Wednesday look during All-Star Week?
I was going to say,
Does it look like Tim's going to Venmo somebody $100 for a deep dive topic? I'm happy to do it.
No.
I'm obviously flush.
No, I got stuff.
Jackson's got inside word on the market, and so I've started to invest with his guy, and now at this point, this is basically just a hobby.
And I got steel. No, I got some stuff.
Do you really? How good do you feel about it on a 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
Are you going to ask which league I would buy or sell again?
That's just uncalled for.
Once it happened, back-to-back shows.
But there was a weekend. There was a weekend in between.
That infuriated Dan Jansen, I believe.
We talked about Dan Jansen. The day I start programming this show according to what Dan Jansen wants is the day I shut it down.
You know what? I care what every listener thinks and says. And that's how I have built my what you call Hall of Fame career. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if I'll go into the Hall or not.
Right.
I mean, I think I would. TMA's celebrating 20 years a week from Friday.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. I'm a 47-year-old man. I mean, that means theoretically the show could go 50 years.
Wow. Think about that.
Yeah. I know Doug's excited by the prospect.
Yeah, well, he's going to do it till he's 123.
That's what he says. Yep. All right, Jackson, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what you got. Personally, I'm shorting the market.
All right.
I think I'm going to be asked so the Cardinals at the trade deadline.
No.
Well, the Blues and Torrey Krug. Cody Schrader just got drafted by the Battlehawks. How's that possible? He's with the 49ers. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Might surprise you. I don't have anything on Torrey Krug, on Torrey Krug thing.
All right. We'll see.
I know that
I'm ready to Venmo somebody $100.
Okay.
$100.
Do the Blues have too many defensemen? Is that the beef?
We got to know that before we come on the air on the Blues station. We just got to do that.
I am the avatar for the person who doesn't know. I am representing them.
I understand, but that person's probably listening to NPR.
All things, we got to get real close to the mic, in your esophagus.
They're the original ASMRs.
Oh my God. This is All Things Considered.
Yeah, what's going on there?
I don't know.
They were doing kink stuff there, and I had my kids in the car for that too.
I had to listen to that every Tuesday and Thursday. Oh, man.
All right, Jackson's complaining about NPR. That's something that he probably can bring you.
Yeah, I think we can all come together on that.
314-399-9646 here, Comfort Service text line. Then you got the YouTube chat. John Fitzgerald's in there. MD 2020. New question from Jackson. Which sports would be on your Mount Rushmore?
All right. This is just nonsense. This is all perpetrated by Dan
I guess
Jansen.
the girl from the tanning beds happens to be in the YouTube chat. What are the chances?
Who's that?
I don't know. I see Ryan Crawford asked her if she told me about her STDs when we were on the date. So that's great.
Yeah.
I haven't talked with her in 25 years.
Yeah. Think she's still living in Columbia?
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Columbia's
That
nice
tanning
town.
bed's still open. Would that be weird if a near 50-year-old guy rolled into a tanning bed?
Depends on what part of town you're in.
Is that right?
Well, not Columbia, but St. Louis. There was an apartment complex in Columbia that had a tanning bed in the apartment complex for free use.
Is that right?
It made me think of a lot of things. Who's cleaning it? You know, because it's hot in there.
Yeah, there's expense associated with that.
Yeah, there's going to be some body soup.
We'll talk more tanning beds and cold sores coming up here and over the next 45 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the program is called Balloon Party. It airs on 101 ESPN. Welcome back. It's Balloon Party. It's 101 ESPN. My name's Tim McKernan. That's Jackson Burkett. Jackson, we got a text from Justin. What does he want to know?
Are the Buffalo Bills on anyone's radar?
I think people are overlooking the Bills, and I think that's a mistake that they'll regret in months to come.
I really love the Bills uniform. I like the white helmet. I think it looks really good. I think too many teams are getting into the silver helmet trend. Don't love it. It works for the Cowboys. Doesn't really work for anyone else.
Who else has brought on the silver that wasn't part of the silver originally?
The Panthers only came about in the mid-'90s.
Yeah, they're 30 years old, so I guess that's too soon.
But they chose the silver helmet.
If your example of more teams are going with silver is the expansion team in the era that was going to be the St. Louis Stallions,
that's right,
6 years before you were born, then I would argue that this probably isn't going to be the greatest case that's ever been presented.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that teams are switching to a silver helmet.
I can play the audio back for you if somebody helps me.
But that's not what I meant, though. And that's what all that matters. This is Piddle's program.
So you don't have an example of any team outside of the Carolina Panthers?
Patriots, Lions, Panthers.
I mean, that's what they wore.
I know, but I don't think it looks good.
Well, I understand, but you made it sound like teams are going to silver helmets, and in my mind, I was thinking, who's done that?
But they can go away from that, and they're choosing not to.
Well, of course. It made it sound like that in recent years, teams have gone from whatever their original helmet color was to silver. No. And I thought to myself internally, because it's amazing that I can host a show and then still have an internal monologue with myself. I'm doing a hell of a show inside my head. You wouldn't believe it.
It's 25 years of it.
That's right. And I thought, I can't think of the teams. I wonder who Jackson's thinking of. Here's a quick question. I'll give Jackson a 2-foot putt. And then you cited 1995's Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Well.
And then the Detroit Lions, who have been wearing that silver helmet for as long as I can recall. And then the Patriots, who've been wearing a silver helmet since at least Desmond Howard was the Super Bowl MVP. Was that the 1997 Super Bowl? I think it was.
All right. Well, okay. So I just talked about in the last segment about accountability, especially when it comes to, mouth-borne illnesses. So I will take some accountability and say I misspoke in the way, or I framed that poorly. I think the silver helmet just in general outside of the Cowboys isn't a good look. And I'll give an example of a team who switched from a silver helmet to a different one and improved, the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
They went from a silver helmet and then switched over. Now, people, if you make a retro jersey, people just love it. They're like, oh, yeah, it was better. They should just go back to that. And then I disagree. I think the Seahawks right now have it going.
Okay. All right. Seahawks did that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we heard from Kevin Demoff it takes 5 years to change uniforms.
And he was a truth teller.
That's right. Well, yeah, full stop. So much so that the Rams changed their helmet, but nothing else when they moved to L.A., and then slowly changed to whatever god-awful uniforms they wear now.
The Raiders have silver helmets, and they're totally iconic.
That's true.
314.
That's true. Another piece of accountability. Love the Raiders helmet. Love the Raiders whole uniform.
So this is a big Jackson Burkett, I was wrong Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. Well, I was wrong at the outset, but I've been nothing but right since. But it's all opinion. This
goes back to Justin's text about the Bills.
That's all I can. I mean, that's if I'm not. What do I know?
I want to know what you actually have prepared for the Little Piddles Wide Berth Wednesday today.
Sure.
During All-Star Week, or as Jackson calls it around here, the doldrums. I can tell you one thing that's going on around here is Jackson and Matt Rocchio are sideways, and they might get into the squared circle. That's what I saw at 10 o'clock when I walked in here today.
He was cruising for a bruising.
I was out there talking to Claves and Dan McLaughlin and Randy Carricker and Brooke Grimsley, and I walk in here, and these two are going at it.
I mean, yeah, he's cruising for a bruising, if we're being honest.
So you're fighting Jamie Rivers, you're fighting Matt Rocchio.
I'll take them on two at a time. I don't care. Can I get a partner?
I'd recommend Kerry Davis.
That's a good call. It's a good call. Yeah, I'll take
I don't think
CD.
He's going to accept it, but I would recommend at least asking.
Randy seems like he has the dad knuckles, where it's like even you just if they hit you, it hurts. The people out
Randy.
there. I'll go with Randy.
Okay, Randy Carricker and Jackson Burkett taking on Matt Rocchio and Jamie Rivers.
Yeah,
I think Broadway Athletic Club. Be there.
Well, Rocky, he brought out my significant other out of nowhere. I was like, I thought we respected the families, brother.
Well, I'm telling you.
That's what I thought. I thought it was about respect. And now, between wet and his beak. All right, I'm going to get to it.
Jeremy Rutherford just sent me a very long text, and I'm looking for anything about Torrey Krug, but it sounds like he went tanning too.
Did he? I love that, JR.
Can I read this on the air?
I don't see why not.
JR?
Oh, yeah, I got it too.
I don't know. It sounds like it's It might get graphic.
Sounds like it looks like it was for email today on TMA.
Nicely done, JR. Let me know if I can read that. All right, Jackson, what do we have?
Yesterday was Missouri's turn at the SEC Media Days, and more attention than
Fight Tiger.
Big time.
Beat Aggie.
That's right. More attention than I've ever seen was focused on Eli Drinkwitz and the Tigers representatives. Based on what you saw, did Drink have a more business-like approach than his usual slightly goofy nature? He also made a point to not only talk about losing some talent from last year, but leadership as well. Does that element, the loss of leadership both on the field and on the coaching staff, part of what gives you pause on that 9.5 win total? And also Greg Sankey complaining about Missouri NIL laws, which was a nice touch.
First question first. If you recall, Drinkwitz in 2023 was more business. I don't know if you recall that. He was.
When was like the Jeremy Pruitt thing where he made fun of him?
It was
that a little
2023
before that?
Media Days. And then in addition to that, he then went on with Paul Feinbaum, as all the coaches do. And Feinbaum was like trying to bait him into saying some things, talking Dan Mullen,
right.
Jeremy Pruitt. And he's like, man, you're buttoned up this year.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I really do think that there was some kind of introspection that led to an evolution on two fronts. Number one, the, bravado that, at the time was certainly not earned. Mm-hmm. And then also recognizing I love calling plays, but it's probably not the best thing for me to do as the CEO of this program, and therefore got away from it. And I think that's two of the reasons why you saw Missouri have the success it had last year. On your second question regarding the loss of players on defense, we made reference to Cody Schrader getting drafted by the Battlehawks. He still is with the 49ers for the record, but players on the 90-man NFL roster can be drafted.
Right.
Because there is not a guarantee that they will be
for sure
on the roster when the NFL camps are over. So Cody Schrader could be toting the football for the Battlehawks, Jackson, that taking place this morning for the record. But replacing Cody Schrader, not only his productivity, but also his leadership traits. And then a number of players on defense. And you read that list and you go, man, those were some big-time players. It is a concern. So the issue is unlike past years way back when, not even that far back when a college would lose its, a good portion of players, you're thinking, okay, that means a player who's a freshman or sophomore is now going to get their opportunity, and it might take them some time because they're now a sophomore or junior and they haven't started. And in college football now, you're losing Ennis Rakestraw, for example, but there's Toriano Pride coming in after playing at Clemson. So It's a different kind of way to calculate that metric. One of the things that you and I talked about last year is a way to wager early on in college football is the teams with a bunch of returning starters. So Missouri may have some new faces, but these are guys who were playing and starting at other schools who entered through the transfer portal. So handicapping it perhaps will be different. I know that Gabe DeArmond, when he talks about the 2007 successful season to the 2008 disappointment season, even though you had Chase Daniel and Jeremy Macklin and William Moore all returning that year, was there a number of players who were leaders did not from the 2007 to the 2008 team, and that team suffered because of it. That's an intangible. You certainly have some leaders returning. You can immediately think of, obviously, Brady Cook as the starting quarterback being a big one. But and you have Luther Burden coming back. I mean, perhaps a guy who will be in the mix for, as he talked about, the Blitnikoff and then also the Heisman Trophy. But, the defense is something to keep a real close eye on. Yes. I mean, if a team has a new head coach, as is the case in Tuscaloosa with Kalen Bohr, as is the case in College Station for the game that I think, when I look at the schedule, is the most important for Missouri this year, because that can dictate the tone of the season. If you go into College Station and win that game, you have Mike Elko in his first year coming over from Duke. You'd go, okay, it could be different in College Station. Not that the Jimbo Fisher era was deemed a success for him. Of course, Nick Saban. So Missouri now doesn't have their defensive coordinator, clearly a huge part of the success of that team last year. He's at LSU now. And how will things work with the defense? I think that is a fair question for Missouri fans and college football fans to wonder about. But with that all established, I'm still beyond fired up for the start of college football and incredibly hopeful for the upcoming season. With that all established, I love the under on 9.5, and I hate that I keep saying it, but I kept saying last year that I love the over, and I got to be honest with the audience. It's not popular. It's fine. I don't sit at the cool kids table with you. You know, I'm the kid from the tough streets of South St. Louis. I'm meat and potatoes guy.
Right.
My family can't afford the latest Z Cavarici or merry-go-round or oak tree pant. Mustard color.
Merry-go-round?
Yeah, go to Crestwood Mall sometime. You'll see what I'm talking about. Plaza. I apologize.
Bustling.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's at Deerberg's now.
Is that right?
Either way, but you know what? The kids at the cool kid table go, there's something about that guy. He knows his college football season totals really well.
Yeah. Let's invite him over. Oh, he's wearing a Michael Jackson jacket?
Right.
That's
Thriller.
odd.
Thriller.
Yeah. Yeah, he should go to a tanning bed. I'm with you. I think on the surface, you see the guys coming back from Mizzou. You just named a few of them, Brady Cook and Luther Burden, obviously, two superstars. Luther Burden might be a top 10 picks next year. Some of the less sexy positions, when you look at offensive line, and then obviously defensive coordinator, and Kevin Peoples, who was the edge coach, who was so clutch last year. It does give me a little bit of pause on that, you know, because the defense was such a big part of the team last year. I mean, you see Luther and Cody and Brady, and it's like, yeah, those guys were outstanding, but the defense was the real heart and soul of the team, and that's what gives me a good amount. I guess Mizzou secondary in my lifetime is rarely ever good. Last year they were really good, and that's what made me so excited for each and every game, but there's nothing that's more frustrating as a football fan than watching someone just get burned down the sideline in the secondary. So I have some pause, too. I absolutely do. But
I can't wager. I've got people who've won it. James Carlton, a wonderful sponsor of this program, said, I'll bet. I said, I don't want to bet it. I can't bet it because I don't want to be sitting there in September cheering against Missouri.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm just like, is this going to be? The thing is if I did bet it and then Missouri went 10-2, they're probably, which means they covered, or 11-1 or 12-0, they're in the college football playoff, most likely at 10-2.
Depends on who the two losses are.
And so it can be emotional risk management.
Yeah, 10-2.
ERM, which I, by the way, recommend.
Just trying to think of, like, scheduling-wise, like, you think 10-2, it'd probably be tough to get the home game in the college football playoff, that first round. You certainly, obviously, wouldn't get a bye. That's for the top four. But it'd probably be tough to get.
It depends on how all these guys, these teams on Missouri's schedule wind up being.
Right.
I keep hammering that this is the one thing that to me is a certainty. There's a team on the schedule that you think is going to be good that won't be as good, and there's a team, or it could be Missouri, and there will be a team that you look at right now and go, that's a win, that when the season starts up, you're going, oh, that looked like it was going to be a win, and now they might be a hell of a lot better than we thought.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's going to be. It just is the way that it works, especially now with the transfer portal. Either way, I hate saying, but man, I'm going to be honest, and I know it will irritate Missouri fans. Last year, they liked that I was saying the over, but this is what I really think, especially in a year where people who aren't necessarily Missouri fans throughout the course of their lives are really looking forward to the upcoming season. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I mean, would you like it if I just sat here and lied to you about the Cardinals? You know?
I would.
You would like that?
Yeah.
You would like me to rights holder you?
If you could. If you could.
Well, so that's what I think.
Yeah.
It's just going to be incredibly difficult to win, to go 10-2.
Yeah. The offensive line thing, I think might be, Javon Foster was so good last year. And the offensive line obviously is so key. Like, that's what gave Brady the opportunity to throw deeper last year, not only the shoulder surgery, but having time, you know. It's as plenty of you out there have probably watched the St. Louis Rams in their last couple of years. Offensive line was a big issue. It's hard to watch because it's so frustrating. Same with Cody Schrader benefited from the offensive line.
So everything stops and starts.
Yeah, man.
Most important yet underappreciated position in sports.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's not a greater delta.
Yeah.
The 1999 Rams, Super Bowl champions, look at that offensive line. Yeah. It is sick.
90s Cowboys. I mean, Emmitt Smith is the all-time winning rusher by a large part.
Tom Brady existed untouched for a couple of decades.
Yep.
Your thoughts on the topic, 314-399-9646. Air Comfort Service text line. I guess we got, yes, you can read it if you want. Just a funny tanning story. There's no foul language or anything. Oh, we got Jeremy Rutherford's tanning bed story coming up, too. So that's huge for time spent listening. Can't wait to hear it. So Jeremy Rutherford, Tales from a Tanning Bed in Jefferson County, coming up on the other side of the break. Yep, that's Balloon Party. 101 ESPN.
This is Action Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Last night, All-Star Game, MLB All-Star Game. The American League wins final score of 5-3 over the National League. That makes it 10 out of 11 for the junior circuit. And banned NBA player and former Missouri Tiger Jonte Porter has request to play professional basketball in Greece denied by a federal judge on Tuesday, 1 week after the former Toronto Raptors forward pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges related to a betting scandal. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You know, in that pause between when the Sports Center update was supposed to start and when you actually started it, I started looking at TikTok. And there is a drone video in my algorithm of a drone taking, I guess, what is the standard Western route from the base of Mount Everest all the way to the top.
Oh, wow.
And I'm over here and my palms are sweating.
Knees weak?
Knees weak. Palms are sweating.
I'm in a sweater already. Mom spaghetti.
Right. That's what played when Jason Mott was about to take the field to close out the 2011 World Series.
Yep. It's a great bullpen exit song.
How do you feel about Hell's Bells? Uh-oh. Here's Jackson, anti-St. Louis.
Well, I just fear for the bullpen catchers because sometimes they'll be throwing another guy will be warming up and then they kill all the lights and the pitch just sailed out of the guy's hand and the bullpen catcher's got to pray it doesn't smack him.
Greatest entry in sports, go.
Of all time?
Sure.
Let me go off the beaten path here a little bit.
Of course, contrarian.
Virginia Tech enter Sandman.
I got to tell you something.
Virginia Tech enter Sandman.
That was on my TikTok as well.
Yeah, Virginia
Tech
yesterday's
TikTok.
Enter Sandman. Obviously, people think of Mariano Rivera with Enter Sandman. That's also great. But when the Hokies roll out,
it's pretty strong.
Really good.
I'll go nostalgic with one that you'll of course like. The 90s Bulls.
Yeah, Space Jam. They did a take on that in Space Jam, right?
Oh, well, I mean, Alan Parsons Project.
Right, yeah. But they did 6'6" from North Carolina. Yeah. Michael Jordan. Super cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was.
Let's see. I'm going to go into the what do we got here? What do we got? 90s Bulls is up there.
Yeah.
Has Tim commented on the Porter situation? Is this what? That's my guy, Dan Jansen.
Condemn it if you would.
Isn't it interesting? This is an aside, Dan Jansen. I'll comment on all you want. Yeah. I'm not on board with gambling on your own games and throwing them. You know,
I guess
I'll tweet it out along with the mom from LSU, the White House, because I am a GIF depot on Twitter
right.
at T McKernan, my defunct Twitter account. But when somebody comments on something, they don't comment on something, they break their silence.
Well, their silence was deafening.
The hell's that?
Oh, man.
So-and-so finally broke their silence. And it automatically, subconsciously conveys to the reader that the person must have been in hiding. And it makes it more titillating. And, of course, that's nothing but BS.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
Perpetrated by this awful industry I've chosen to participate in. It's my fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. Robin Williams, Matt Damon, 1997. It's not your fault.
Not you too, Sean.
No.
I'm convinced.
George Plimpton, Paper Lion.
Is that the song playing?
Do you find it hard to sit there and not jump my bones? I believe is what Will Hunting said to George Plimpton.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when he's going through the great montage of other therapists where he just is destroying them mentally.
That's correct. That's correct. This is a spoiler alert.
Good Will Hunting rocks. Damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. I had something
kind of like the Sports Center update. What was going on with that Sports Center update?
What are you talking about? That was good.
There was a 9-second pause in between the music starting and the Jonte Porter update.
I use earbuds.
Everybody had been waiting for.
Thank you.
You broke your silence.
That's right. I use earbuds because I used to I really think part of my hair loss issue was wearing headphones, and so I've switched to earbuds. But one of them doesn't work, so I have to find the left earbud if I want to hear the music.
Oh, okay. I follow you.
Yeah.
So that's what was going on?
I was fumbling around. I was unprepared.
Both of Marsh's headphones work.
Yeah, Marsh has Beats headphones. That guy's
Jackson, can you fly a 7-iron from a tight downhill bent grass lie about 143 yards out? That's from coaches John and Dean Ellis.
Shut up, coaches. I'm trying to remember what I was trying to say. Damn it, it was good, too.
All right, what's your next question? How about that? That way you can work off the prompter, which I think is best for you.
I want to hear JR's tanning bed story.
Yeah, sure. No, this is a new segment. It isn't sponsored yet, so if you have a business. It's called Tanning Bed Stories from Jefferson County.
Just local media guys sending in their stories.
Tanning.
Yeah, or anything, really.
I was tanning one night. Wow, this is... I guess this might be erotica. I haven't read through the whole thing.
Yeah, I want it to be fresh.
Storms were rolling into Imperial, Missouri, a.k.a. the Missouri Hamptons. I was 12 minutes into this particular session and was sweating profusely. Oh, this is so hot.
I'm getting there.
Thunder was booming outside while I lay in the bed. Suddenly, the power outage struck.
Oh, no.
Nearly 270 pounds. I was a bit smaller lad back then. Was stuck inside it could become my coffin.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Panic set in. What do I do? There was a small gap of space at my head and my feet, but it was pitch dark, and I couldn't see what I was doing. Even I tried to slide my Chippendale bod out of one end. I had no choice. I started oozing my way out head first.
Oozing?
And it was working. I crashed onto the floor in the room in my tighty-whities. The sound was so loud that the front desk girl gasped.
I
pulled my Tommy Hilfiger shirt over my head, my khaki shorts up to my waist, slipped on my Adidas flip-flops, and burst out the door. I gave the girl the Jeep wave on my way out of the salon and never returned. My last tan. I'm sure after the restoration of the power and the cleansing of the bed, she has told the story once or twice, too, over the years. It's from Jeremy Rutherford, covering the Blues and tanning beds in Imperial.
That's so good. I have a mental image right now of him thudding out of that tanning bed and sliding on the ground. If people know the airport episode of Seinfeld, when Kramer comes flying out of the baggage carousel, he comes flying down that little chute. That's what I imagine JR looked like getting out of that tanning bed, and I just love it.
Oozing his way out. What a wonderful verb. That guy's a writer. You can tell he's a writer.
Tell. Yeah, you can absolutely tell. He's like with no vertebrae.
I am going to look at JR differently going forward now. That was hot. This is Balloon Party After Dark. That's from your mom's boyfriend.
It's always nice to hear from you.
You can send in your tanning bed stories as well. Try to compete with the Blues beat writer. 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text line, and then also the YouTube chat as well. It is active as the day is long. I see Ryan Crawford's talking to your mom's boyfriend and Nick Housen. Do you pronounce it Housen or Housen?
Is it like the guy who won on Jeopardy, James Holzhausen?
Oh, Jimmy Hole.
Yeah, that guy was unbelievable.
No.
I sometimes watch Jeopardy with my mother at like 4:30 in the afternoon when I go over there. It's really fun. She's good.
Your mom's good?
Yeah, she's really good at it.
Nice. I'm kind of a Wheel of Fortune guy.
There's not as much play from home. I guess you guess the thing. Family Feud is really that's
Steve Harvey's Family Feud.
Yeah, that's the best. All right, I got a question for you, Tim.
Okay.
I saw on X a couple days ago that someone said how much they dislike David Ortiz as a player, but really enjoy him and have grown to appreciate him as a broadcaster and his life after baseball. For you, is there someone you didn't enjoy much as a player that has grown in your estimation due to their post-career work?
This would be a case of if I would have had a little, but this is the right way to handle. This is the Little Pills Wide Berth Wednesday. I'm put on the spot, and sometimes I can execute, and sometimes I can't. And right now, I'm Greg Norman at the 96 Masters. Who are you thinking of?
People won't get this one, and I'm going to be on an island, but former NBA journeyman Jeff Teague played at Wake Forest. When I would play NBA...
something that's resonating with the audience.
I would play NBA 2K13. My player was a point guard. Jeff Teague would always start in front of me, and he would chuck shots, and I hated him. But now he has a podcast, and he's really funny and tells incredible NBA stories and is super self-deprecating and self-aware, and I think he's the greatest.
Jeff Teague.
So shout out to Jeff Teague.
I haven't seen any texts on that one yet.
They're coming.
Uh-oh. I got a text from Chris Kerber, though.
Kurt, what is he got beef with JR?
I don't know if this is to be. I mean, once JR starts sending in tanning bed erotica, good thing I didn't just read.
Korak coming up next.
Okay, wait. Jackson thinks that the headphones are contributing to his hair loss. Is he losing his hair in a couple-inch wide band from the top of one ear across the top of his head to the top of the other ear? If not, his hypothesis may not quite be on point. Sincerely, a bald guy who never thought to blame his headphones, Chris Kerber.
I just gave you a little tip there, Curbs.
So you think Chris Kerber would look like Mike Gundy if he wouldn't have been wearing headphones?
Well, I mean, I think we could all wish to look like Mike Gundy, but even if you're 50% of that, you're feeling it.
Yeah.
No, I think that the world of hair loss is kind of in uncharted territory. You know, there's still a lot of science going on there, still figuring things out. So I don't know. I just think taking tension off of the top of my head, where my hair loss is most present, was prudent. And I get that.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel I used to have long hair. If you find the Sigma Chi composite picture, a lot of people look for the Brad Pitt one, but more people look for the one when I was a freshman. From 1994, stolen off the wall. And, oh my goodness, the thick, lush head of hair I had.
Right.
And I would wear this ball cap down low. Because I didn't want to sign autographs. I'd wear this ball cap down low, and then my hair would curl out the back. Just looked like a hot boy from the South Side. but the hair was pressed down so hard on my head. And then the next year, as an effing sophomore, I start, my hair's falling out.
Yeah.
And I wonder about that.
There's that tension thing. Because
I'm telling you.
The proper way to wear a cap, and I see some people out there doing it wrong. Like,
Jackson's going to tell everybody how to wear a hat right now.
The wrong way to wear a cap is just to put it on your head like this, and then you have hair in this
Who
region.
does that?
Oh, I see it all the time.
Where?
Box socials.
Sock ops?
Sock ops. Sadie Hawkins dances.
Yeah.
The correct way is to pull your hair back, brim of the cap near the nose.
Look at this.
And then the front of the cap goes and pushes the hair back so you don't have your hair. And then when you take your cap off. So when you take your cap off.
Listen, a rich guy is going to tell us proper etiquette today on Balloon Party.
That's how it's done. So if you're out there and you got your bangs and your eyes when you're wearing a ball cap, you're doing it wrong.
All right, there you go. For all of you attending the Veiled Prophet, you know how to properly dress.
Yeah, wear a ball cap to the Veiled Prophet. See how that plays for you.
Oh, Dan Jansen's in Hoke. Sigma Oikos.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
No wonder.
You know what that is?
That's the Sigma Chi Creed or whatever?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Zai chapter. May it rest in peace. It comes back and
I think
forth,
it's back.
though. Is it really?
I think so.
2-term rush chair.
Got kicked off when I was a senior, and we're now 4 years off.
Got kicked off when I was a senior.
Yeah, well, that'll happen.
Like I told you, it's kind of like Halley's Comet. It comes around.
Gorgeous house, though.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I built it.
You're a stonemason.
If you're wearing a hat on your head because your hair causes your hair to retreat like Custer at Little Bighorn, why does Troy Polamalu have so much hair? It's from John Fitzgerald. Great point, John.
Does he often wear a ball cap?
John, you'll have to call in.
He might have the greatest hair going.
Troy Polamalu?
Yeah. Remember those Head & Shoulders commercials?
Yeah, sure.
Man, he was such a good football player. I want to ask Kerry Davis about him. He just Polamalu seems like a guy who would be on your team and you instantly play like a certain % better because he's around you. Like he would.
You know what? This is random and asinine, but I agree with your perspective.
Like a guy who's all out effort like that and also incredibly talented. That just, man. I like that the Steelers and Cardinals are kind of in like a similar vein as franchises because the Steelers are first class.
I would tell you, I think Yadier Molina probably had a similar effect there. And I know
think
that's
so
kind
of
a Cardinal populist take.
No, I think
some of the people who hate me are probably going, I agree with his opinion.
Yeah, I think it's apt.
But I do think that there's something to that.
Yeah.
Wait until you have more ear and nose hair than hair on your head, Jackson. That's from your mom's boyfriend. Sounds like your mom settled.
Jeez, I've been really lucky that nose hair and ear hair have not been a problem at all.
Well, you're 26.
Well,
it doesn't happen then.
Let me introduce you to some of my buddies.
Oh no, really? Oh, that's a bad beat.
Shoulder hair, like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's a rough thing. Can't you get that like lasered or something?
Yeah, I had a buddy get it lasered. But you like can't be in the sun for like a week. There was a buddy down in Florida too, so that was tough because I've said before there's no shade in Florida.
I always wear a hat and have thick, illustrious hair. No offense, Tim. That's from John Scores. Hey, I tip my cap.
Yeah, good on you.
Had I stayed on Propecia, there's a good chance, at the very least, I'd be a senator right now. Now, I'd still do
Michael
TMA Party. But, yeah, I stopped taking Propecia. So for those of you who are on Propecia or finasteride, let me tell you something. Never stop.
It's flowing through my bloodstream as we speak.
Never stop.
Pretty affordable.
It is. Well, back then it was like $100 a month, and I didn't have that Horton Watkins
It's a fraction
money.
of that now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more segment left today. Then BK and Ferrari. Oh, it's 10:53. Oh my God!
I like our only answer to my question was Jeff Teague.
Yep, we broke it down. BK and Ferrari at the top of the hour. This is Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. Man, I think the world of the good people at Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. That's Jamie Burkhardt. That's Peter Munganess. That's the whole staff. But I've just gotten to know them really well. I've gotten to know Ryan Seiberg as well in the service department. So even if you didn't get your car from Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, they want you to take it there to get serviced. Don't feel like, well, I didn't get it from there. I can't get it serviced there. No. It's not the deal. Matter of fact, they understand that people are going to make different decisions. That's fine, but they're going to take care of that car. And just 2 days ago, my mother-in-law got her car from Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota. And when she was talking to me about the decision, I said, here's my reasoning. And this is what I'll tell you in the audience. My reasoning is this. You're now working with truly wonderful people in Jamie Burkhardt and Peter Munganess. And so I know if for whatever reason you didn't like something or something went wrong, they will absolutely make it right. And so for what is, for most people, their second biggest expense next to their home, to have that peace of mind is invaluable. It's Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Welcome back. Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you. Jackson, we've got 2 minutes. Make them count.
Yeah, I can do that.
Why
is it making me log back in?
Oh, great. I wonder if Rockio. You think Rockio can get in here? Grant, can you come in?
Who do you think is an athlete that is 23 or younger who will go on to have the best decade? And also, do you feel that in 2024, younger athletes get more of a chance to shine than, say, 2004 or 1994?
100% on your second question. 100%. 100% on your second question. I don't know. I like your question. Who's going to have the best decade? 20. I'll go Connor Bedard.
Damn it, I was going to say Connor Bedard.
And that was going to be like your big, look at me, I know hockey moment.
Dear myself.
Yep.
Rats.
Yeah,
All right,
that
then
was a
I'll-
little populist moment for you.
Then I'll give the right answer. I'll give the right answer and say Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, of course.
Yeah. And yes, people texting in that the Top Gun Anthony Edwards. It's really funny every time you do it.
Wow, this attitude.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to leave today's program.
Not only is it wealth shaming, and, it's like if you didn't go to a private school, that attitude that you give off.
That's right, despite going to a public school.
Correct. But now, just like sensitive about jokes from 1986's Top Gun.
Yeah. Is the volleyball scene your favorite scene in the movie history?
Yeah, but at this point, my VHS is like stopped on it. And it kind of like
frozen
blurred out. Yeah. All right, BK and Ferrari are coming up next. For Jackson Burkett, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Mungan St. Louis Acura, Mungan Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN and the 101 ESPN YouTube channel. My insurance agent is James Carlton. He is online at carltoninsurance.net. He will do everything he can to save you money. Make the switch. They do all the paperwork for you. And James is with us right now. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Tim. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you? Fine, sir.
Oh, just breaking down the SEC media days.
Yeah? What have you? I saw Nick Saban's catching some hell from his former Alabama players, and one of the players said, we were always told by Coach Saban not to worry about what some guy who lives in his mom's basement has to say about our team, and so I'm not going to worry about some guy who plays golf all day says about our team in response to him not having Alabama in the SEC championship game. Pretty good.
How about that?
Pretty good.
How about that? Yeah,